שלום וברכה, אמריי ורבותיי, שלום וברכה. בעזרת השם, בזכות הצדיק רבי חיים פינטו, בזכות בית השם, הולי חג הקדוש ברוך הוא, will give our entire קהילה and our entire קהל ברכה והצלחה, סייעתא דשמיא גדולה, מלכא דמו תחתיו וזכייתא, זכות כל הצדיקים, הקדוש ברוך הוא ישפוך לכם שפע עד בלי די, and may the light of the חג בעזרת השם extend throughout the entire year כולו, אמן כן יהי רצון השם. אז now רבותיי, this week's parasha, we call it the Parasha of the dreams. The Parasha where Paro dreams two dreams, and he seeks to have an interpretation, an explanation. We know that the Torah explains that Paro has one dream with 7 cows that are being eaten by other 7 cows that are not as beautiful as the previous 7. And the second dream being 7 piles of like wheat that are very skinny, that swallow the piles of very rich, beautiful looking wheat. And these 2 dreams haunt Paro. To the point where it says that Paro brings many different sorcerers and interpretators and very, very smart philosophical people to try to reach to an explanation. And they all give very, very similar explanations. Rashi says that 7 daughters that will be born and 7 daughters will die. Midrashim bring about 7 fields that will be very blessed, and then afterwards 7 fields that will be very, very bad. All the explanations are very, very similar in aspect where they all follow the same line of where Paro will be blessed with 7 good ones, 7 good fields, 7 good trees, 7 good wives. Each one brings a different explanation, and followed by that there will be 7 bad ones, 7 dark ones. And Paro is unsatisfied, doesn't find happiness, doesn't find that these explanations are good explanations. Suddenly they bring Yosef HaTzadik. When Yosef HaTzadik is a young boy that hears a dream and gives a very, very similar explanation, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing unique comparing to all the other explanations. They all had the same line of 7 good ones, followed by 7 bad ones. But when Yosef HaTzadik gives the explanation that they will have 7 years of bracha in the fields and then 7 years of famine, Paro is excited. Paro looks at Yosef and says, there is no man like you. Nobody reaches to the level that you reached. To the point where he takes Yosef and he puts him as king of Mitzrayim, as Melech Mitzrayim, where all Egypt needs to follow the will of this young boy that, to our eyes, gave a very similar interpretation like all the other ones. So the question we had is, what did Paro see in Yosef that he put Yosef at such a high pedestal? Why did Paro fall in love with Yosef in the way that he did? What was so unique about Yosef's explanation that the other ones weren't able to reach? So we know about time, throughout all the teaching of Zohar Kadosh, throughout the teaching of Chazal take Yosef HaTzadik and they attach him to a specific attribute, to a specific midah. The attribute of what? The attribute of Yesod. Yesod in his essence, like what the Zohar Kadosh says, it's a bridge. Where it's the only midah, it's the only attribute, or the only sphira you can call it, that has the ability to be like a transporter. Transporter of what? Transporting the Kodesh, the holiness, into what? Into the Chol. Where can we see this in our life? Friday. Friday today is the day of the Yesod. Friday is the only day that has the spiritual attributes and the ability to bring a new world called Shabbat into days of what? Of weekdays, into Chol. And that's why Friday is the day of the transition where the Shabbat descends. Because Friday, Yesod, being the only sphira, the only vessel that can bring such a high presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu being Kodesh, into a dark place of Chol, into a very, very material place. And that is Yosef. Yosef is Midat HaYesod, bringing HaKadosh Baruch Hu down to the darkest place. He said, maybe we can say something very, very unique. When Paro heard all the other interpretations, he knew they were all right. He knew that all the interpretations of all those Reshaim, they were all accurate, where there would be 7 of blessings, and follow that, 7 of what? 7 of darkness. The difference is that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped Yosef HaTzadik and HaKadosh Baruch Hu stood with Yosef HaTzadik, it wasn't like all the other aspects that Paro saw. Paro saw that Yosef has the ability of bringing down HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence like no other person into the times of darkness. So when all the other interpreters were explaining what will be 7 years of good or 7 fields of good and then 7 years of bad, the good were good and the bad was what? It was bad. But within Yosef, Paro something completely unique. He saw that within Yosef has the ability to bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu and to bring the Bacha even into the years of bad. Yosef has the vessel to bring the light even into those years of darkness that will come eventually. And that's why Paro, he saw in Yosef such a place of Geulah, where he knew the bad years were coming, but Yosef was able to bring Hashem's presence and Hashem's Bacha even into those bad years. And this is where we see the koach of Yosef HaTzadik. Here we see the koach of how Yosef is able to bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu even to the hardest places that exist within our life. And that can teach us a very big lesson. You know, in life, Abotai, we're going to go up, we're going to go down. We have day, we have night. We have times of great light, we have times of great darkness. And it's inevitable. We can't prevent times of darkness. But what we could learn from Yosef HaTzadik is if we bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu with us into those times of darkness, they're not so bad. We'll be able to navigate through them very, very easily. Paro was smart enough to recognize that in Yosef. And we even see that in reality, what actually played out throughout the world. It says in the Midrashim that all the world copied Egypt. All the world in the 7 years of bracha, of blessing, they took field and they stored it. The difference was that when the 7 years of famine started, what happened? The fields and all the storage and all the backlog that they were collecting for those 7 years of all the other nations, what happened to them? They rotted. And only the storage of the Egyptians, what happened to it? It stayed fresh. Paro saw that within Yosef HaTzadik, which is a part that is hidden within each and every one of Bnei Israel, there is their ability of bringing light, of bringing presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even through the hard times that are inevitably going to come. And that is what, Rabotai, we even see and we inspire throughout the whole holiday of Chanukah. We're lighting the candles at the nighttime, not for no reason. We light the candles in the nighttime to show that us, Bnei Israel, we are able, by holding on to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to shine the light even at the darkest times. Where we spread the light into the dark, that only comes when we hold hand in hand with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So today that we are on Friday, which is the day of the Yosef HaTzadik, and the Parasha, where essentially we see that Midat HaYesod, Yosef HaTzadik, shining by bringing HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence to the dark times, and Chanukah, we can understand the tools and the ability within each and every one of us to take HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence and to walk with it even to the hardest times throughout our life. And by doing so, Be'ezrat Hashem, those hard times won't feel hard at all, and they will be, Be'ezrat Hashem, just another chapter in life that we will fly in with big bracha and atzlacha and siyata d'shmaya. Amen.